fresh out the oven.
What is cracking, everybody? It's MegaPieMan here, and welcome to another look at my map for CTF Coffeyville. This one is for Alpha 13. The last look at my map I did for CTF Coffeyville was for Alpha 10. Well, you might be thinking to yourself, what happened to Alpha 11? What happened to Alpha 12? Well, those weren't actually released versions. Those were only testing versions that I had created when I was working on for 13, because I really wanted the next release of this map to be in beta. But I'm not there yet. There's still too much stuff that needs to be worked on and tested before I feel comfortable with going into beta. For me, personally, beta is when you have all of the features in, I guess. Beta is feature complete, but not content complete, is kind of what I'm trying to get down. And when it comes to a map, feature complete to me means that the layout is basically 100%. And I'm just working on detailing and making the map look pretty in beta. That's what I personally feel is beta. Now, other people may not agree with that. Other people may have their own different ideas of what beta and alpha actually mean. But the way that I think of it is that alpha is until you get all of the features in, and then once you get the features in, beta is when you're adding more content and fleshing out those features. That's just how I think about it. So I've got to wait until I get the layout down, and like I said before, there are a few things that I do need to get tested and checked before I can actually move this up into beta. I decided to actually do this video before I got it tested instead of how I've been doing the last couple of videos, which is after I got it tested. So there are a few things that I'm not sure about how they'll actually operate right now. But one of the things you may be noticing right now is I did actually do a little bit of work inside this base. I added the skylight up there to hopefully add a bit more lights in to just this area. There's not a lot of windows. I added these windows up here too, just to bring more light in. Now, one of the things that I'm having issues with Coffeyville is lighting, because I want the map to be like the old Western theme. And I'm trying to keep to that as much as possible, so that means I don't want to add electricity, or at least a lot of electricity. When it comes to this machine that's going to turn gravel or coal into gold for the background story, that'll be basically the only electricity that I want to have in the map, just that machine. And I have ideas for working on that a little bit more, but I'm not going to work on it now because it's not important at the moment. But I don't want it to be like light bulbs hanging from all over the place, because I want it to feel like the Western theme. I might even actually remove this machine turning coal into gold or something, maybe. I don't know. I might just change that to be just a gold mine. That they're over here somewhere. I haven't really decided on it yet, depending upon what happens. I think I'll keep it unless it specifically doesn't work out, and then I might get rid of it. But for now, I'm going to try to keep it. For now, I'm not really worrying about it. So I added this up here so I can do some lighting so that the skybox light gets in, and I can also do phantom lighting. Now, phantom lighting is basically when you have lighting that doesn't necessarily have a source, and it's best to do phantom lighting when there's an area that people won't originally realize, like, there's no source of light in here, why is this light here? So by adding this big skylight and adding these windows over there, I can do phantom lighting inside here better, because there's more of a reason as to why the lights will be there, because like the lights coming through the skylight, the lights coming through the windows, people won't think super in-depth about it. They'll just see, oh, there's windows, oh, there's a skylight, that explains why there's light everywhere. I might even open up these windows. I did have a big window there before you could see through, but I closed it off. I might open those up again depending upon how much lighting I need done. But I did actually change up some of the other stuff in here. I changed this area right here. It used to be that when you came out of the spawn room, you would go down a flight of stairs, and you would go down a path that's over here that would take you down and underneath this and out over there. I changed it so that instead of going down and around, you just come right out and go straight down here, which was some feedback that I got. A lot of people didn't like that you had to go down and around. They wanted a more quick access straight to outside of the base so that they could fight a lot quicker and a lot easier. So I just added that. And I also moved this upper pathway. Now, that other pathway, I did have it like over here or something, I believe, where you could walk across on top of that building and then get into that building over there, and then go down a flight of stairs. I've actually removed that whole area altogether, and the reason why I did that is because even though you can still look inside here and see it, I don't know if I'll keep that. I might remove that, but for right now, you can look inside there and see it. But I removed that because it's not a very big area, and it made it very awkward to play and fight in. So I completely closed that off, and I wanted to keep this upper path. So I put this sort of roof here so you can go across this roof and then go around these planks and get on top of this space over that way. So there's still this upper path that you can go around. The thing that I'm worried about is I'm worried about this upper path being a little bit redundant, since the only way to really use that upper path is from in here. So you've got to go around there, up this way, across this upper path to get over to that area over there, which I'm thinking is a safer way than going through down here. With how open down here can be if you go around that way, to go around the top, but I'm not sure if it's redundant, and also, as you see, I'm also running into this corner a lot, so I'll have to see if it's wide enough. I might need to widen it a little bit more so you don't constantly run into this corner. Something else that I changed is over here. I got rid of this drop-down thing, since a lot of people were saying that it didn't really have much of a purpose. Originally, the drop-down there was to make it so that it was a quick way to get from up here to down there. So if you had the intel, you could easily just run up here, drop down, and run out that way. But it didn't really seem to have much of a reason to exist, because there wasn't a easy way to access up here unless you were a soldier to rocket jump your way up here and then fall through there. You still had to go around through the hotel and fall through there before, if I remember correctly. I don't exactly 100% remember. One other thing I did is I completely simplified inside of here, so it's not anywhere as much of a mess as it was before. Before, it was quite a mess, and it was a little bit awkward to fight in, so I opened up this area and simplified it a lot to hopefully make it not anywhere near as much of a pain to fight in, and you have a lot more space to move around and to go up top these stairs. But again, I don't know if that path leading up here is really going to be good or not. We'll have to wait and see. Something else I did is I opened up this wall, so you can still come out here and get on top of this. I got some feedback that players wanted to be able to get on top of this roof, because when they was drop down here, they wanted to go down the drop down and as a scout, fall down, jump, and get on this roof, and they couldn't do that because there wasn't enough space. So I closed the drop off, but I opened up the wall so you can now walk on top of this and get out here. So if you specifically wanted to, you could fall down there and you will take fall damage, but you will be able to quickly get down to that area. Or you can just walk across and fall over to this balcony area. We'll have to see if that's, again, that could be very redundant, considering that you can get between these areas just by going up and down these stairs. I'll have to wait and see whether or not that's a smart decision and whether people actually like that. So, yeah. Some more feedback that I got was players wanting to be able to get on top of this roof. Now, originally, you could only get on top of the roof of this bridge if you were a scout. You would have to double jump from the balcony, or if you were a soldier and or a demo man, you could then rocket jump or sticky bomb jump your way on top of there. And I thought that was a good thing to do because it opened up a path that only some classes could use and other classes couldn't use. But I did get a lot of feedback, people that wanted to get on top of this roof as just about any class. So I added these ladders you can easily walk across to get on top of there. There is a no build up here. So if you get up here as an engineer, you cannot build a sentry gun. It's not going to happen. You just can't do it. You literally cannot do it. So I shouldn't have to worry about people building up top here and putting a level 3 sentry gun and just completely cutting off this entire area. That should not happen. But there is the possibility that if you are a heavy and you get up here, it might be the same kind of a thing. I don't think it would be too much of an issue because of how the distances are. For a heavy to be very useful up top here, it would have to be someone that was like right in this area. There's a lot of distances to move around. You have the distance over there, the distance up there, and the distance over there. And the minigun's not very accurate at long distance. I mean, it is to a point, and you can like get kills from a little bit of a long distance, but I'm hoping that there's enough distance between this bridge and these other doorways that it won't be a problem. You'll see that I did a lot of detailing on the hotel itself, so now it's just not a big flat wall. I have to wait and see how that actually works. One thing that I'm afraid of is that this right up top here might be a little bit of an issue when you come out of here, because you could rocket jump like right into that if you're not paying attention, which could be a little bit of an issue. I also added a lot of more health packs and ammo packs, moved a lot of them around and added more of them to the map, so that hopefully people won't be dying a lot. One thing I also got feedback for was that there was a lot of fall damage in the map because I dealt with a lot of verticality. So I did shorten some of the areas. You can see with this spot right here, I shortened up a little bit, and if I walk off the edge, you will not take fall damage. And that's how it is for a lot of these areas, except for the ones that are really, really tall. If I go back over here, the spots that are over here, like if you walk off of that, you walk off of the upper way, if you walk off of that, you're not going to take fall damage. You can take fall damage if you jump. But if you just walk off the edge, you won't take fall damage. If you walk off the edge of this, I believe you will take fall damage, though. And if you walk off the top of the bridge, you will take fall damage. Yeah, if I walk off here, that's going to be a little bit of fall damage. But hopefully I closed up some of these so that there's not anywhere near as much fall damage that can happen. And I also added another stairwell over this way. Now, like I said before, I completely removed the path that was over here. That whole path is gone. You can no longer go into these side buildings and then go up the stairs into that awkward area that was over in that direction. That's gone. That's completely 100% gone. I added this building in the middle here, so you can't do that. There's no opening over there at all. You also can't get on top of this building. If I don't kill myself, hopefully. I'm horrible at rocket jumping. Anyway, you can't get on top of this building, so it shouldn't be like someone gets up there, puts a sentry gun up there, and closes off. That whole area is just completely closed off. We'll see how that goes. I might open it up so you can walk across this upper path from inside the side building. We'll have to wait and see. I also moved the health off of this rock. The rock has been lowered, so it's not as much of cover as it used to be, but it's still cover. I might move the rock back depending upon what people feel about it. But I also moved the health off of the rock, and I put it back here, and I added some ammo. So it should be easier to access, but it's also a little bit dangerous. So if you are an engineer, this spot over here seemed to be somewhat of a popular area to try to build up in. If you are an engineer, you can go over here and grab yourself some ammo to help you build, but of course, by walking over to this area, you're very much out in the open for snipers over there, snipers from up top there, and anybody who's walking anywhere near around the bridge area. So, yeah. You're open to that. Now, another feedback that I got was that this map didn't really feel like it had a middle, which I don't really know how to take that because the middle of the map is the bridge, and to try to make it feel more like that, I did widen the bridge. The bridge is a lot wider than it was before, and so are these side buildings, so you can actually walk down through the bridge and will not get hit by the train if you walk by the side. If you walk in the middle, you will, of course, get by the train. But if you walk on the sides, you won't get hit by the train, so we'll see how that works. I'm still not completely sure about the train, in all honesty. Some feedback that I hope to get with the next test is I'm looking for feedback as to whether the train actually affects gameplay or not. If the train does not affect gameplay, I might as well remove it, because there's no point in it being there. But I've had this problem since basically the start of this map as to whether or not the train actually affects gameplay. And I'm still not 100% sure, so I would really like to get some feedback on that and the next TF2 maps game day. I've asked them to specifically give me feedback on that, so hopefully I'll be able to actually get feedback on that. If we go over here to the Blue Warehouse Hotel, I actually specifically named these, so you have the Red Barn Hotel and the Blue Warehouse Hotel. I plan to give the Blue Warehouse a unique look. Right now it looks exactly like the Red Barn. That's just because I didn't have the time to give it its own unique look, but because it's supposed to be more of a warehouse that I've decided. So I'm going to give it its own unique look, so I'll probably get rid of this balcony, and it won't look exactly the same, just so that the map, it feels a bit more unique. if you give areas their own look, especially for a map that's like this, which is flipped, so that one side is exactly the same as the other side. The paths will be the same, but if I give it its own unique look, it'll make it feel more like a place. Like Two Fort. Two Fort isn't exactly... The paths are the same on both sides, but it doesn't look the same on both sides. But of course, that's just detailing, so I didn't worry about it right now, since I'm more focused on the paths. If I go inside here, you'll see a little bit of detailing. The detailing is definitely different, and we have all this area over here that's a much more of a warehouse area. I still have the bar down there. I don't know if I'm going to get rid of the bar on the blue side, but for now, it's there. It's different textures and all of that stuff, but it's still the same exact path. And of course, over here, you have the same exact upper path, but of course, different textures. Now, the thing that took the most time for Alpha 13 compared to the previous alphas is Alpha 13 is where I did my first big optimization pass. And you might be able to see, let's turn no clip on here for a moment. You'll be able to see that, oh, there's some issues here. Well, if I move over this way, you can see inside that brush. Why is that? That's because I am horrible at optimizing at this moment and did some bad things with my skybox. Now, I didn't actually do a lot of optimization when it came to the base, but the thing that I want it to be is I want this to be one section, and then, you know, you got your skybox here, and then this is a section, and then you got your skybox here, and then this is a section. I want it to render that way. That's why I specifically broke it up with these buildings to try to break up the lines. It hasn't worked out exactly how I wanted to. If I bring up the materials, I believe it's matte wireframe 1, we can see everything that's currently being rendered by my computer. And as you can see, over all the way here, it is rendering everything. Basically everything in the entire map is being rendered right here, even though I can hardly see anything when I turn wireframe off. Wireframe 0. Yeah. You can hardly see anything when that's there, but for some reason it renders all of it when it's not there. I don't know what's up with that. I've got hints, I've got skips, I've got area portals, I've got skyboxes, but it doesn't seem to care. It does work when you get inside the hotel area. As I walk inside here, you'll see you can't actually see everything. Some of the stuff is actually disappearing as I walk around. Like I'm standing right here, it disappears. It's not rendering all of that, and it's not rendering all that. It's rendering some of it, but it's not rendering that, and it changes as I look around. And that's how it's supposed to work for all of the areas, but for some reason, when I walk outside, it renders everything, and I do not know why. When it comes to optimization with hints and skips, I don't really know what I'm doing, so it's very much a learning process. So, hopefully this won't be a huge thing, a huge issue. Something that I'm probably going to try to do is add in... Well, they're changing a little bit, but they're not changing all that much. Something I will try to do is I'm going to try to add in fading to a lot of the props, so that when you get far enough away from the props, they actually will fade out and fade in. Of course, I haven't worked on that at all as of right now. I probably should do that sometime soon, because there are quite a lot of props in the map now, as I've done a good amount of detailing in it right now. And, you know, there's still more detailing to be done. But I'm not really understanding what I did wrong here, because in Hammer, wireframe 0, in the editor, there's area portals and skyboxes which are supposed to cut these areas so it will only render what you're supposed to. Like right here, there's an area portal here. There's an area portal here. But it's not doing it, and I don't really know why. I also have to work on fixing the skybox up here so it's not cutting off my textures, because something I learned is that when a skybox is next to another world brush texture, like this is a world brush, so that it will actually cut a line here, since function brushes do not cut lines. If you don't know Hammer, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but if you do, then you might, hopefully. But skyboxes will kill world brush textures, so that's why there's no texture there, 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 and I gotta figure out how to fix that. Optimizing roofs is being a huge pain in the butt at the moment, because I don't know what I'm doing, which is why I didn't put a lot of work into optimizing this. I did optimize it a little bit, but like optimize up top here so that you got skybox around there, but I didn't really mess with it all that much. But yeah, there's still a lot of work to do. There's a lot of under the hood work when it comes to optimization. There's detail work. There's some layout work. You know, Coffeeville, it's getting there. It's really starting to shape up, I feel. It's really starting to shape up like a map, but it's still got a long way to go. I really want to get this down to the point where I could put it up into beta. That way the only thing I have to work on is optimization as well as detailing to make it look nice and make it play nice so that I don't have to worry about the layout anymore. But that seems to be ways down the road, and it's not going to happen at least for another few weeks. At least. So let me know what you think about the map so far. Let me know what you think about any of the things that I've done, what you like, what you hate. If you like the map, if you hate the map, if you ever played the map, I don't know. I'd love to know your opinion about it. Some of you may also have noticed this little Easter egg here, G. Cooper's Rustling Insurance. I was actually watching a development live stream from Super Duper Garrett Cooper, who is the developer of Black Ice. And I asked him, if you were to own a Western company, what would it be called? Or what would it be? And he said that he would own Rustling Insurance. So, there you go. He's got Rustling Insurance in the TF2 map. Why? I don't know. But it's there. It's there. So, yeah. I'd love to know your feedback. And if you got any feedback, I'd make a plan, man. Thanks for listening to rattle on for a while if you're still here. And I'll talk to you guys later.